fourth T20 international between Zimbabwe 11 and South Africa. Right. Zimbabwe won the toss this morning and elected to bat. And both sides have seen some changes. On the Zimbabwe side, we see Regis Chakava has replaced Takozwana Kaitano, and Wellington Masakadza looked like got injured yesterday, and he's been replaced by Milton Shumba. And for the South Africans today, a couple of changes. Reza Hendricks gets a rest and is replaced by Vian Luba, and Lazard Williams is out and Gerald Coetzee is in.
Good afternoon, Darlington.
Sorry, joining me today is Larry Kurirai. Larry, series won by the South Africans already, 3-0 out of 5. A little bit disappointing for the Zimbabweans yesterday. Lost by 140 odd runs. But I think there were some positives throughout this series. We saw really good performance in the field, bowled very, very well, and fielding was of the highest standard. And then we saw a really good batting performance in the second T20 international. And what we've seen is the very experienced Regis Chakava come in to replace Takozwana Kaitano, who's sort of struggled throughout the series. And Wesley Madhevere has looked good in patches, but just hasn't been able to score the sort of scores that are useful. And so he's been given another chance.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been given another chance, and also I think one of the reasons he gets another chance is he's a weapon in as far as the bowling. Does tend to get wickets. So I suppose that's the reason you go with that choice. But yeah, also getting a Regis Chakava, I know it's Bjorn Fontaine opens the innings for South Africa in the bowling out there in the on the city end. But as I say, the Regis Chakava getting some game time. There's Namibia playing in the next. They're playing against Namibia in 2 weeks' time. A week and some change.
I think that's really, really going to be good for the Zimbabwean side. You want to try and make sure that and he's been gone in the first ball. Just one ball. It's taken Bjorn Fontaine to get through the Regis Chakava's defences, and Zimbabwe lose another early wicket. So they 1-for-0 in the first over. Irvin is Zimbabwe national team captain. Craig Irvin also hasn't really sparked through this T20 series. He had a couple of good hits in the second one, but didn't really get many. And it's really important that Zimbabwe somehow get a partnership up at the top.
And yesterday when we had Tino Mawoyo here, talked about how Zimbabwe have struggled at the top, and I suppose questions were asked around how the top run scorer for the domestic T20, Prince Mashauru, is not here. No, Kevin Kasuza is not playing either.
Yes, very, very, very good questions. Very good questions, and I think it's also good to see that at least Takozwana Kaitano extended run. Because often when new players get into a new game, a new type of cricket, they're often just given 1 or 2 goes or given piecemeal goes. But at least I think the policy this time round, I think they got right. He got a really extended run and he failed to make those runs himself. So I think as a player he should have nothing to complain about. But I think those other two, very, very interesting selection choice.
Beyond eliciting some excitement for the South Africans here. I'm just looking at the shot that Regis Chakava was playing and left a huge gap.
For me, he's just a little off balance playing that one. It was just he got his head outside the line of the ball. You honestly generally want to be going at the ball. Even when you're playing on the back foot, you want your head to be going at the delivery, where it's coming from. At the end of the first over, the Zimbabwe 11 are 1 for 1. Right, and it's Darren de Pavilon from the northern end of the ground to Wesley Madhevere. And de Pavilon has been really good throughout the series. He missed the one series and has just come in for these T20 matches. And we've just seen a change in the field. Initially they started out without a slip, and they've put man into the slips. And it's a little too straight from de Pavilon. Very well played by Wesley Madhevere. He's got an great start to this over.
This is an excellent shot. This sort of puts it in that area where there's certainly no fielder to stop that. But I guess that's because Darren de Pavilon just straying onto the leg stump.
So we just see that is, I think that's Kaya Zondo, isn't it? That first slip next to Captain Heinrich Klaassen. Just got moved in there just before the first ball of the over was bowled. That's another beautiful shot from Wesley Madhevere. And what I loved about that shot is throughout the series, when he's gotten a little bit of width, he's been going a little too hard at it. And he's waited for that beautifully and just really caressed it backward of point for another boundary in this over.
Absolutely. One of those gimmies, it was just wide. All he needed to do was pierce the gap between the two fielders, one at third man, and just give them no chance of getting at that ball. And that's one thing that I think Zimbabwe have struggled with, especially in the last match. Not so much the second match of the series, but that placement between fielders. South Africa has been absolutely brilliant at that.
And then another beauty from Wesley Madhevere. And that, in terms of the class, I think that's the best shot he's played today. Because it wasn't very straight. It was the length that allowed him to get inside the line of it. And get it, tuck it behind, backward square leg for another boundary. So he's on a perfect start at the moment off de Pavilon. 3 boundaries and 3 deliveries.
Not many times as de Pavilon will concede 3 fours in a row. Let's see what it's got here for Wesley Madhevere.
The good thing I think also about this is that it's not been him just throwing the bat at the deliveries. He's played some really high-class cricket shots. And then another one to get himself down to the non-striker's end. Another very good quality cricket shot. It was a bit critical yesterday of the Zimbabwean batters, and I think they go too hard too early. And the interesting thing is, if you just play really good quality cricket, you can still get similar results. And you're likelier to actually succeed if you're just playing really high quality cricket shots.
And what's been key for Wesley Madhevere here has been the fact that he's kept the ball on the ground. Seen yesterday, a lot of the times Zimbabweans were hitting the ball in the air, which allowed for catching opportunities.
Yeah, very true. And then we see the South Africans continue bowling around the wicket to Craig Irvin, just making sure he's tucked up and gets no freedom outside that off stump. Very strong through the offside is Craig Irvin, and so just not going to allow him to get the ball into that area. He's going to be forced, if he wants to score quickly here, he's got to find some scoring areas down the ground and just straight or just wide of mid-on. And that's a beauty. Again, the beautiful thing about that shot is he's not tried to overhit it. He's just caressed it wide of, I think that's actually Heinen Klaasen, extra cover. And 17 off that over. And Zimbabwe now are 18 for 1. Another bowling change. I think it's a good one. Junior Dala from the city end. So Bjorn Fortuin bowled just a 1-for-1 run with the wicket of
Cover.
and then they've brought Junior Dala into the attack. Bowled well yesterday, took 3.
Did get hit for a few. The few that Zimbabwe were able to make.
And that's a pull shot from Wesley Madhevere. Didn't quite get all of it, but he got enough of it. Really wonderful start so far.
It's only one of the shots that during the one-day matches they tried to catch him on. A couple of times that Gerard Coetzee got him out was a pull shot. But critical in that he kept the shot down, removed the catching opportunity there.
And for me, I think the other thing that Junior Dala hasn't got it quite at him. He's going just a little down leg side, and then it's forced a fielding change. We've seen Gerald Storman, who is at third man, is being brought into the circle. And that's another beautiful shot from Wesley Madhevere. And that's a boundary of the first 2.
Just like the last over, first 2 deliveries of that he faced off the bowling of Darren de Pavlo. Of course, he got it was a dot ball the first delivery, but he's really taking to the South African bowlers, especially the pace bowlers, isn't he?
I think technically this is the best innings I've seen in Wesley Madhevere for a very long time. He's not looking to smash the ball. He's letting it come to him and playing really good quality cricket shots. And what a response from Junior Dala. What a wonderful response. He's been hit for 2 boundaries. And he's bowled a well-directed bouncer. Wesley Madhevere had to get out the way.
So after having quite a decent crowd yesterday, hoping a couple of fans come through. Had quite a decent crowd yesterday. Might be going through things like church and hangovers from last night.
Normally, we should expect a few to drift in as the day progresses. We've already started to hear some shouts from the Centurion, which is the bar and the largest bar in the ground at Harare Sports Club. So there are some people watching cricket there, and a few dotted around the ground. So, well, that's the 8 from the first Junior Dalla over, and Zimbabwe 11 are 26 for 1. Then Glenton Stuurman is replacing Darren de Pavillon. He was hit for 3 boundaries by Wesley Madhevere in the last over. And again, he's coming over round the wicket, to Craig Irvin. Didn't quite get the line in the right. Allows him to get off strike.
Probably allowing the fact that Wesley Madhevere is playing such decent shots, or pretty good shots, is putting less pressure on Craig Irvin to try and get the score going too quickly. We've seen the 3 matches has come in the T20. He's often been in situations where he's had to have a go at the ball as early as possible, but I guess the fact that Wesley Madhevere hitting the ball so well gives them less pressure, doesn't it?
That's right, and it just allows him, because he generally prefers to start quite slowly, as Craig Irvin. And having somebody who's hitting it that well at the other end just allows him to play his slightly more natural game. And that's a wonderful catch. Absolutely wonderful catch from Bjorn Fortuin. He's left-handed and he's diving to his wrong side and has grabbed that one. Glenton Stuurman gets the breakthrough. Craig Irvin has to go for 5, and the Zimbabwe 11 are 28 for 2. Milton Shumba is the new batter in. Wonderful opportunity for him.
Yeah.
Come in at 20. And Wesley Madhevere is striking it beautifully. As long as he sort of stays there, Milton Shumba has also the opportunity to play himself in for a couple of overs before he's going to be really required to play anything aggressive or enterprising. What a start from Milton Stuurman. New batter in. Didn't quite get the line right. A little bit of width, so Milton Shumba didn't really have to sway out of the way of that one. But the intent is good.
That it is. Given the absolute disastrous performance of the batch yesterday. Zimbabwe already down to 28 for 2. Talk about this after this ball is bowled. Zimbabwe already down 28 for 2. What does that do to you mentally? Do you still think, okay, we'll just carry on with the game plan? Or is it sort of a case of, oh no, not again?
I think mentally, you do think that. It's very, very natural, because cricket is a human. Any human would, having had that experience, that fairly traumatic experience yesterday, would remember it. And there's often used expression in cricket called mental. And the concept of mental toughness is the ability to focus on the information that's most important to allowing you to play well in the conditions that you find yourself in. So the mentally tough players wouldn't really pay as much attention to that as what happened yesterday. So the thing is to leave it in the past where it is, and then just focus on the job you've got to do today. And just focus on the one ball you've got to face in front of you, and just work through it one ball at a time. So at the end of the fourth, Zimbabwe 11 off 28 for 2. Ojera Kutsia replaces Junior Dalla from the city end. He knocked Wesley Madhevere over twice in the 50 overs competition. What a mark at very important stages in the game. And we see a little bit of uncertain footwork from Wesley Madhevere to start out there. And that's again, he's got him, has Gerard Kutsia. And this time, it's a second catch for Bjorn Fortuin. Wesley Madhevere departs for 23. And the Zimbabwe 11 now in some really deep trouble at 28 for 3. Zimbabwe 11, captain Shumba and Raza in. Lots of work. And that's a beauty from Gerald Kutsia to greet him. A little bit of outswing. Just left Raza. We saw a similar delivery to get rid of Wesley Madhevere. He played that off the front foot. And it's roughly the same length. Raza's gone back to it. And it's just gone past the outside edge.
I tell you what, it's a pity for the Zimbabwe 11 team at the moment, because until Gerard Kutsia came in, the Wesley Madhevere was seeing it as a beach ball. He was hitting everything that was coming at him. That's why he got to 23 in no time. But the moment that Gerard could see some of, obviously with the wickets that have fallen in the 50 over games, probably sitting at the back of his mind, and therefore probably overthinking a shot.
That's absolutely right, because Harold Kutsia has won a mental victory. It wasn't that the ball was good enough, but it wasn't an amazing delivery that you sort of could understand Wesley Madhevere getting out to. But it was the quality of shot that Madhevere played there that's questionable. Just the one run and one wicket from his first over for Gerald Kutsia. And the Zimbabwe 11 moved to 28 for 3. Be a little change in the commentary box. Placing Larry and I, it's going to be Tino Mawoyo and Tinashe Chimbambo. Good morning, Tino. Oh, sorry, that's good afternoon, Tino.
A little behind time, are you, Darlington? Very good afternoon. Good afternoon to our viewers from around the world for T20. Zimbabwe 11 versus South Africa A. Batting first. Zimbabwe 11. At the moment, their batting woes continue. 28 for 3. One delivery into the 6th over. In the air. It'll go over the fielder at backward point. Milton Shumba will get a boundary. A welcome one for Zimbabwe.
I didn't quite catch it the way you wanted, Milton Shumba. A little edged, you know. 28 for 3, they won't mind how they come, Zimbabwe. It's going to be another rebuilding job here for Milton Shumba and the captain, Shumba and Raza. And there you see Milton Shumba rehearsing that shot. He wanted to go a little bit straighter than that. And Stayman probably just having that one to straighten a little bit away from Milton Shumba. Beautifully bowled. Nice change of pace from Glenton Stearman. He's beating Milton Shumba for lack of pace there. Seems to have a couple of ideas going on in Milton Shumba's head. Not entirely. They're playing the deliveries on merit. And most often than not, you get done by very clever bowlers like Glenton Stearman, and a quick change of field setting here. Kaya Zondo goes to the cow corner boundary. And Junior Dala comes back into the ring. Short fine leg. You know, Zimbabwe in this particular T20 series, there have been 3 or more wickets down in the first power play, almost in all the 4 T20 internationals. And if you are a coach in that changing room, how do you get to change that?
Well, look at the manner in which they've lost those wickets. I'm not sure that they've lost those wickets to good deliveries, the majority of them anyway. We'll come back to that conversation in the next over. End of the 6th, 34 for 3.
Little Tiku down leg side. Welcome runs for Zimbabwe. It is a little bit of a bat from Shumba and Raza, and Kotsia will not be happy with that delivery. He's been very good in the first over.
You described that just right. Tickle. And that's all you need, especially with the pace of Kutsia. Sliding down the leg side. Got the line wrong. Shumba and Raza gets it away for a boundary. Just going back to your question in the last over. Tinashe. It's a headache for the batting coaches because the batters are getting out in several different ways. Gone! Just as we talk, wickets falling for Zimbabwe at the top of the order. Their captain, Shumba and Raza, gets the outside edge, just hung his bat out to dry. And Zimbabwe lose another. 38 for 4 now.
$38 for 4 Zimbabwe to 6.2. Tinotenda Mtombodzi comes to this crease.
Tinashe, let me get my response in very quickly before something else happens. I'm saying it's a headache for the batting coaches because all the batters are getting out in totally different ways. So very difficult to pinpoint what you can address in terms of one's lack of technique or weakness in a technique. But in general, I just don't see the batsmen putting a price on their wicket. I talked about I haven't seen them being got out. They're getting themselves out. And in this shorter version, just 20 overs to try and put runs on the board. If you've lost 3 wickets already in the first 4 or 5 overs, you've set yourselves back a very long way. The difference in 50-over cricket is that you've got longer time to be able to make up runs. T20 cricket, because it's shorter, you've still got to try and score runs quickly, or a lot quicker than you would in a 50-over game. And again, can provide opportunities for the batters to get out. Performance with the bat really has been the majority of the series from the Zimbabwe 11 batters.
Thank you, Tino. Just quickly getting my notebook out there. Little tickle, work for Streman. Very quick across the ground, just cuts it out, keeps it to 1. You're 100% spot on, Tino. You analyze that to perfection. The way that the Zimbabwe batters, especially in the top order, have been getting out has been, if I can say, very weird for many out there, because it's not one particular delivery that is troubling one batter, but it's all sorts. You look at, and it's out. Big appeal. The umpire agrees. Tino Mtombodzi, we have to walk back. Looked to want to leave that one alone, and beaten for pass. And Zimbabwe 11 in real trouble here at 40 for 5.
Well, Cricket South Africa yesterday morning learnt with sadness the death of former fast bowler Mr. Hussein Ayub, veteran cricketer over the years for Cricket South Africa, and that's why they are wearing the black armband. Thoughts go out to his family and friends and all those involved with the game of cricket in South Africa. May his dear soul rest in peace. Beginning of the 8th over, Junior Dala back into the attack, this time from the golf course end.
What an over, Tino, by Head Kotsia. 2 serious balls. One to get rid of the captain, Shumba and Raza. And without scoring, Tino Mtombodzi had to walk back as well. Just seemed to hang his bat out there to dry. And at such pace, you don't have too much time. You gotta know what you do when that bumper comes. You gotta have a way of dealing with it. And Tino Mtombodzi just caught in 2 minds. And Zimbabwe in real trouble here. New better in, gets off the mark straight away. Ryan Bell, him and Milton Shumba will have to find ways to consolidate the innings and also score some runs.
I'd like to disagree with you just on one point, Tinashe. You said 2 serious deliveries to get the wickets in the last over. I don't believe the delivery to Shumba and Raza was all that good a ball. Outside the off stump, a length that he could have just left, hung his bat out to dry, and got the outside edge. The one to Mtombodzi, yes, good ball. And it goes back to the point that I made a couple of overs ago. Just don't see it as Zimbabwean batsmen putting a price on their wicket. Can go through the wickets that have fallen today, and go through the majority of the wickets that have fallen throughout this one-day and T20 series. How many of them have actually got deliveries that got them out?
Absolutely right, There's been some questionable decision making in terms of shot selection throughout the series. And obviously it's been aided by the way the South Africans have bowled. I think it's a level higher to what the Zimbabwean batters are accustomed to in the domestic scene. And it's a good thing that they are getting this sort of exposure before a big tournament. Qualifiers coming in July.
The exposure is important, yes. But you would expect, Tinashe, that they would be putting in the numbers now to get themselves prepared. Afghanistan tours in less than a month. 3 Super League ODIs of crucial importance. 3 T20s as well as part of the preparation for that qualifier in July. At the moment, it looks like a lot of work still to be done.
Lots of work to be done, And end of the 8th over, Zimbabwe 42 for 5. Kotsia continues from the city end.
I've liked the look of Kutsia. I remember him from probably 4 or 5 years ago, playing in the St. George's Schools Cricket Festival. I actually umpired a few of his matches back then, and I was very impressed by what I saw. And it's good to see that he's continued to work hard. He's gone through the ranks, getting selected into the South Africa A side, and obviously looking forward to a career for the Proteas. Good, young, strong, fast bowler. Aggressive, which is something that you have to have as a fast bowler. Possesses all those qualities. Good to see.
Yeah, respect for South Africa, actually in all formats, with the amount of ability and potential that he's got, should probably increase in pace as he gets stronger, and increase in consistency and skill. He would definitely be one for the future for South Africa in all formats. And if he's able to continue with his progress the way he has it, he will be in and around that squad very soon.
Good running. I'd like to see more of this in the top order from the Zimbabweans when they're struggling. 2 or 3 down early. Don't keep going at the ball. Lost wickets already. Can't continue to lose wickets. What do we need to do? Take back. Have a look at what the ball's doing. Drop the ball, run. Get to the other side. The last thing you want to do is when a bowler is on song like he is stay on strike for 3, 4, 5 deliveries because you're going to get out.
Changing. Zondo moves on to a gully position. Short ball right into the body, and Newton Shumba can only tamely pull that down to the square leg. I like that thinking from Klaasen, realizing that Zimbabwe might want to just take the back seat and rotate. In this consolidation period, attacking with Zondo in that gullish position. End of the 9th, just the 2 from it. Zimbabwe 44 for 5. Change of bowling from the golf course end. Vian Lube, first look at his off spinners in the T20 series. Cut away to deep point, just for the one. I think Vian Lube provides an opportunity for Zimbabwe here to sort of rotate strike and get a little bit of momentum into the run scoring. Obviously hasn't been involved with the bowling a lot in this series.
Ten and a half overs to go. An opportunity for both these two to just bat through the next 5 or 6 overs. Try and close it off for Zimbabwe. Look to build a little partnership in the middle here if they can.
cut away and cut away very well. Work for Junior Dela in the dip. Does very well. And he cut off at a certain boundary there, Junior Dela.
I like that from Milton Shumba. A couple of balls ago, hit it very square to that man at point and just got the single. This time, intentionally just forcing it a bit further in front of square. Got him an extra run. Changing the field, 2 men behind point now on the offside. And just dinks it into the onside for a single. That's good cricket from Milton Shumba. Decent over for Zimbabwe. Halfway stage. 10 gone. 45 for 5. 49 for 5.
We just heard Tino talking earlier about how wonderful an opportunity these two batters have. Lots of time in the game, opportunity for each of them to get themselves a long bat, some quality bowling. And we've seen Jason Smith to the attack for the first time from the city end, slightly slower through the air. You already start to see signs of comfort. First delivery that he bowls at Milton Shumba. He's played a really aggressive straight drive. He's done well to keep it to just one. As Jason Smith. And then that single brings up the 50 for the Zimbabweans. 50 for 5. A pull shot from Ryan Burl. He's going to be the one we saw in the second T20. Jason Smith got hit for 4 sixes and 1 over by Shumba and Raza. And it's just, again, it's that fact that he's a little bit slower through the air. So that gives you a little bit, a split second longer to watch the ball and play aggressive shots.
So thanks a lot to Tinashe Chimbambo and Tino Mawoyo, Saflari Kwirai and Talanta Matambanato. It's looking at the play as it has been at the moment. It's just gone past 50 and just not enough runs have been made. Didn't help that wickets are falling at regular intervals due to very unspectacular batting. And these two batters have come in and caught between two minds. Yes, it's an opportunity to rebuild, except in the last two overs or so, that's when they've started trying to get the singles. And I think in the rebuilding exercise, I saw it in the match yesterday, and I reclassed it at Ryan Rickleton. When they were rebuilding, they still got the odd run here and there. So maybe an extra 10 runs have been left out there.
This looks like very good running from the pair. And what I liked about how Ryan Bill's done this, he's known the fielders are on the boundary. He's not gone really hard at it. He's just checked his shot a little bit. Made sure it had no out to Junior Dala, who's on the mid-wicket boundary. I think that's, in essence, what you're talking about. It's trying to figure out how to find boundary, to find runs. I mean, runs are difficult to come by. So just already 5 from this over, which has been quite good relatively. And the Zimbabwe 11 are 55 for 5. So Vian Luba is going to continue from the golf course end. And started quite nicely, just a 5 from his first over. No bound.
Just to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. It's Mother's Day in Zimbabwe and a lot of parts in the world.
Thank you for reminding me. I hadn't wished my mother a happy Mother's Day. And it's something I'm going to do immediately, as soon as I'm done with this commentary stint.
People without whom we have no life. But some brilliant running between the wickets again by the Zimbabwean 11 pair, whose partnership is now at 18.
What I liked is the communication, the quality of it. As Milton Shumba worked that into the mid-wicket area, he called 2-2-2 immediately. So Ryan Bill knew he had to take the first one quickly. Running between the wickets is 90% communication. As you call clearly, early and loud, partner is never going to be in doubt.
And also when you have that intention to play, to run two right from the beginning, it puts pressure on the fielders because they know they've got a small margin for error. They can't fumble it, and sometimes when you're thinking too much about it, that results in you fumbling the ball.
I think he's must be certainly missed out there, Milton Shumba. Not really an awful delivery, but that's just enough width for him to play it away on the offside. Just try to go a little too hard at it. Lost his shape and timing. This is a good set from Vian Luba. Just 3 from the first 4 deliveries of this over. Some more work for Junior Dalla on the square boundary. Another good shot from Milton Shumba. He's waited for a long time for that one. To be able to get it behind square on the offside. The running has been good.
And as Number Warrior said earlier, this is the sort of thing you wanted to see from the top order batters, who almost have been too much of a hurry and therefore lost their wickets for no particularly good reason. And after 12 overs, Zimbabwe 11 are 60 for 5.
Darren de Pavillon from the city end. And that's a beautiful shot from Ryan Burl. He's made that shot, not let him settle down. He's run down the track at him, giving himself a little bit of room by going leg side of the ball. Clears long off very easily. Really positive, aggressive start. We're just saying off air that it looks like it's 5 runs and over these guys are going at. But if you can get 1 or 2 of the bowlers, suddenly you can score 15 or 20 runs from one guy, maybe 2, and suddenly you've got a really useful total to bowl at in the second part of this match. And then that's the pull shot off the front foot. I think he's got enough of it. That's going to go again to the boundary. For a second, it looked like to me as if it was going to mid-on. Junior Dalla's fielding, but he's got enough balance to get it all the way to the boundary. Suddenly he's got 10, the first two deliveries of this over.
And with that, it ups is a strike rate above the 100%. Beginning of over was in his 60s, now it's 128%. Just what two balls can do, not just to the innings, but to your strike rate.
And that's very intelligent cricket from Ryan Burl again. He's just off to Pavilon to get that past backward point area for the single. So it's 11 that the Zimbabweans have made so far, and it's just halfway in the over.
And what's that done as well is gotten the crowd excited, who've been very muted, nervous even, thinking this match could be done by around 3 p.m., but just a few hits.
And that looks like it's probably got, should be two. Milton Shumba, great awareness. As soon as he let it set off, he knew that it should be two. Come back comfortably.
Just something interesting that both batters have done in this instance is they've been very intentional in how they've decided to attack Darren de Pavlon by moving forward so just to make his delivery, so that you create a corridor of uncertainty as to where the channel or the length you're going to bowl at them at.
And that's a pull shot, and very cleverly done by Milton Shumba. What he's not done is try and smash that one. He's just helped it really, really fine. Just got just enough bat on it to get it over the keeper, over and away from the keeper.
And all of a sudden, that's over. Rather, actually, if I get my maths right, it's a bit more than 16.
It's actually 17 so far.
17 runs. So that's 20 over you're talking about.
And then if you can find a boundary to finish this one off, a really useful over from the Zimbabwe 11 perspective. And that's good enough. Will do to finish off. So that's 18 from the Darren de Pavlon over. And at the end of the 13th, the Zimbabwe 11 are 78 for 5. Immediately we see really aggressive intent from Milton Shumba, looking to try and find an extra boundary to start off. Just didn't get given the room he needed to really get that away.
This gives me this opportunity to talk about the Zimbabwe Cricket app, which can follow all the action in cricket as is hosted in Zimbabwe, from club cricket to international cricket. This match is available right now. If you want to follow some stats wagon wheels and all that sort of thing. There are also 4 National Premier League matches that are taking place with the top club competition in the country. So you can follow all that action, find out how the match is taking place. It's available for free on the Google Play Store as well as iStore for iOS users. So certainly something great to have.
Jan Luber is into his third, just the 13th from his bowling so far, and he's bowled well. Really been disciplined, making sure that the ball is pitching on off stump. Hasn't really bowled short enough to allow the batters to get underneath it and get it away. Just allowed them ones, a couple of twos from Milton Shumba, but he's had to play really high quality shots to get them.
And there's a comeback over after the De Pavillon over. I tell you that Vian Lube is bowling exceptionally well. Not allowed the Zimbabweans to free their hands and hit them anywhere significant. And so after 14 overs, Zimbabwe 11 are 83 for 5.
It's like a profit.
So after that over in which Darren De Pavillon conceded quite a bit, Junior Dala comes back, and from his 2 overs, he's just conceded at a rate of 5 per over. It's conceded 10 runs, bowling from the city end.
A beautiful shot from Milton Shumba. Got it all the way to for 6. Incredible cricket shot. Just really intelligent batting. Getting after Junior Dala early in this over. We saw Ryan Bill do it in the over before this, where he went after Darren De Pavillon. He got him away roughly into the same area.
I'll tell you, I didn't even try to muscle that. Just used the pace off his delivery to send it back over him and for a maximum. That's Junior Dala's response here. And just another absolutely beautiful slap. It's one of those that teases the field square on the boundary, and it just made its way onto the boundary. 10 runs off the first balls, quite exactly like so far like the Darren De Pavillon over, in which he conceded 6 off the first ball and 4 off the second. Junior Dala had a bit of pressure here. At the pressure, we'll have to reload that again.
Some really high quality shots to start this over from Milton Shumba. That square cut was out of the top draw. He's deliberately hit it a long way in front of square. There's a fielder on the boundary at backward point. And looked really good, a little slow to begin with, but he's looked really good, has Milton Shumba, even in the 50 overs competition. Saw him get into the 40s a couple of times, coming in under very stressful, I suppose, circumstances. And Zimbabwe had lost a few wickets. And he really knuckled down, worked hard, and he's done the same today.
I think what he's played very well, the role he played very well in those matches, and certainly what he's done so far, is to be able to hold up an end and allow the batter on the other side to express themselves. Probably a delivery that he thought was a lot bigger than it was.
Probably should be a little disappointed in himself. But the way he shaped for that shot says he trusts his ability to play the pull shot. We saw him in the over before when De Pavillon was bowling at him. He worked a pull shot really, a hook shot really fine. And it was deliberate. And then that one, because of where the gaps in the field are, front of square on the leg side, he looked to hit that quite firmly in front of where.
Just another wide delivery from Junior Dala. It's got quite a packed onside field, so probably wanted to get that a bit straighter, tempt the shot from Ryan Bowe, trying to get a full shot out of him.
That's a good way to good delivery from Junior Dala. And Bowe was looking for spaces over mid-off and mid-off and cover. The boundary fielders are all on the leg side, who was at deep point on the offside. So he's looking to get either over mid-off or over third man. Dala's done well, cramping him up for room. Should be just the one to finish the 15th over. And Zimbabwe 11 moved to 97 for 5. To take you through to the end of the innings, it's going to be Tino Mawoyo and Tinashe Chimbambo.
Thank you very much, Darlington. 97 for 5, a very productive period for Zimbabwe. 5 overs, going at just below 8 runs and over. And these two have accrued some runs, and in particular, Mudan Shumba has moved on to 40 of 38. Junior Dala, actually, Clinton Stamen, Tino Mawoyo, will come back.
Thanks, Tinashe. Yeah, nice little period for the Zimbabwean pair in the middle. Happy to see this, and that's what I was talking about earlier when I was on air with you. If you've got yourself in a bit of a rut, wickets are falling constantly, take a step back. Take a deep breath. Reconfigure. Now we're going to get a partnership going here. There's nothing there to hit at the boundary. Drop the run. Get to the other side. Get a feel of the wicket. See what the bowlers are doing. Get used to conditions, and then when the bad ball comes, you'll put it away naturally. And that's what exactly these two have done.
Good, clever running from Ryan Bell. saw that the keeper was still on the ground and probably with the glove on, wouldn't have the sort of power that is required to effect that run out. Caused Newton across. A bit of a mix-up, but they get there safely. And you're spot on, Tino. And these two have the shots to put the ball the way. We saw a couple of sixes down the ground from Newton Shumba, and the way that he's been able to pick, the balls to attack and also hit the left or right of sweepers and pick up twos, and in some instances pick up boundaries. It's been a very good innings from him. 41 of 39 deliveries. If you can turn that into a big 50, Zimbabwe would be well served. Very good from Glenton Stemman here, changing his pace nicely, and he's got the field for it. And most of his bound riders are in front of the wicket. Soft signal to the batter that there will be many slower balls here.
Yeah, I like this bowling because they all know that Ryan Burl is particularly strong on the onside, long on, cow corner, mid-wicket boundaries, so they won't give him the balls in the areas to hit there, like that. And he's gone slightly too straight and too full, and he's crashed that over long on.
A brilliant shot, Tino, from Ryan Bell, and we spoke about how good he is. And that shot from Ryan Bell brings up the 100 for Zimbabwe. 103 for 5 after 15.4 overs. A very modest run rate of 6 and a bit. Catch dropped, and it's the captain, Henry Klassen. Didn't seem to judge that very well, and Ryan Bell will live to fight another day.
Looked like the slow ball. Probably just kicked off the surface a little bit. Ryan Bell looked like he was trying back over the bowler's head. And a little bit of extra kick. There's a reason why he didn't get it as well as he would have liked. Opportunity given by the captain Klassen. Bell survives, moves on to 29 from 24 deliveries.
Top edge. Strigger runs nonetheless. A slower ball and going very hard at that one. Manages to get a very thick edge over the keeper. 4 runs to end the over. Zimbabwe 109 for 5 after 16. Junior into his last over. Ball out. Newton Shumba perishes. Foolish, straight. He tries to go across it, and he will only succeed in getting his demise. After a well played 41 or 40 deliveries, Newton Shumba will have to walk back. Zimbabwe lose another 109 for 6 after 16.1. Richmond Mutumbami, one down from his usual position today. Walks into the crease. Similar circumstances that he has had to come in throughout the series, Tino. And unlike the first two, he has just 4 overs to try and show us what he can do here and add some value to this Zimbabwe score, which needs a lot of respect.
Now he's in because of Milton Shumba. He gestured when he got out that the ball probably just kept it a little bit lower than he thought it would have. However, I would have liked to have seen him striking the ball straighter. Hit him for a good 6 back up over the bowler's head previous over, and that one just went across the line a little bit. Pulled away by Mtumbami. Strike. And off the mark.
.3 overs remaining, Tino, in this innings. And we've seen what Mtumbami is able to do at the end of that one-day series and in patches in this T20 series. What approach would you like to see Mtumbami have in this particular innings?
Well, he's got to get off strike and give the strike to Ryan Bull. 33 in just 25 balls, and we've seen that he's accelerated slightly in the last 2 or 3 overs. Mtumbami new at the crease. He's got to make sure that he's trying to give Ryan Bull as much of the strike as possible.
Pulled away by Mtumbami, a very fine pull. Kaya Zondo does the clean-up job, fine leg. We've seen how comfortable that SA bowlers have been bowling to Mtumbami. Whenever he comes in, they always try that short ball. And at this level, there's really few hiding places for batters and bowlers. Once they know that you've got a certain blind spot, they will try and exploit it, and they've seen that happening many times. Slower ball bouncer is a very difficult skill, but perfectly executed by Junior Dala, who ends the over with a dot ball, 112 for 6 after 17, Zimbabwe 11. 1 for 20 in his first 3. Gerard Coetzee comes to finish his allocation of 4 overs. I think in many occasions, Tino has been the difference between the two sides. The way that he's been able to come in and get a wicket each and every time that Zimbabwe look like building a partnership in the way that Klaasen has used him.
I think you mentioned 2 valuable points there. The way Klaasen's used him and how he's come on and he's done the job that he's needed to do for the team. A couple of times, Zimbabwe taking control, getting a partnership going, and he's been brought on to make sure that he breaks that partnership. And he's done it. Like I said, energetic. No ball. It's the slower ball that he was trying. Gerard Coetzee not quite getting it right and giving Zimbabwe a free hit. Ryan Ball's got to make sure that he gets bat and lots of bat on this delivery. Opportunity for runs.
Yeah, opportunity, Tino. It doesn't really come very often against Coetzee. Nicely bowled. Full, very straight. And Ryan Bell can only succeed in just punching it down to mid-off. Stemman does the rest.
It's a good delivery, actually. Made sure we took the ball away from Ryan Bell's hitting arc. Made sure it was full so he couldn't get under it. Struck nicely by Mtumbami. Straight to Junior Dalla on the boundary.
So it's going to be very difficult, setting a target. And you have a bowler like Coetzee who goes at 3 for 12 in his 4 overs. And that's been hit big over long on, rather. 6 more in the arc this time around. And Ryan Bell says thank you. And clubs that over long on.
This is not a good delivery from Coetzee. We've talked about the strength of Ryan Bell. Up and over the onside. Long on, cow corner, mid-wicket. And if you're going to be bowling length and it's straight, then an opportunity to play shots like that.
What a timely shot. Speaking about Coetzee going for 3 for 12 in his 4. Add 6 more to that total. Again, this time there's a chance for Klaasen. Tax it. Ryan Bell will have to walk back. Coetzee takes another. Zimbabwe lose a very important wicket of Ryan Bell, looking like the difference here between 120, 140, and maybe 160 for Zimbabwe. And after 17.4 overs, Zimbabwe move on to 122 for 6. very sharp bumper to follow up that wicket by Hosea. Well played, Mtumbame, who has had his troubles with the short ball. And after the end of the 18th, Zimbabwe 123 for 7. The pavilion to ball the 19th over. It's going to be against Mtumbami. Straight away, 3 guys in the deep on the leg side. And, just one boundary rider in the offside, Junior Dala at deep point. You get a sense that most of these deliveries will be very straight and directed at Mtumbami's body.
Masuku, the new man, and he's shown in flashes that he can strike the ball. What a beautiful delivery. You will not get a Yorker better than that. First up, the pavilion followed. Masuku was looking to give himself a bit of room. Rickleton just fumbling that down the leg side, so a bye afforded to Zimbabwe.
Put away, and it's in the gap. Mama gets hold of that short ball from to pavilion, much to the happiness of the Zimbabwean fans. What a shot from Tumbame. Obviously, he has a decent idea that the pavilion will want to come at him with the short ball. Just hang back a little bit and put that to perfection. France that Zimbabwe will definitely appreciate. Top edge. Taken. He wasn't going to drop that one as Jason Smith went straight up in the air. A bit of a slower ball, and Richmond Mtumbami, like I said, with the previous delivery, just slightly hanging back. And he's beaten, he has to walk back. Zimbabwe 29 for 8 after 18.3. That is beautiful bowling from the pavilion, who's just been exceptional, except for that short ball in this over. He's bowled very beautiful toe crushers, and Zimbabwe hasn't had any answers, especially in this particular over. A full toss to end the over. Enes Masuku will feel like he missed out on that delivery. Prides himself of useful tail ender. 129 for 8 after 19.
Chatara down the wicket, bottom edge. We'll get a single, Zimbabwe. Just 5 balls to go to the end of this innings. They won't mind how any of these runs come, as long as they get as many as they can. Enes Masuku will definitely not be looking to hold back here. And that's well bowled by Sturman. Unfortunately, it's called wide by umpire Forstam Tizwa. Definitely got the right idea though.
Clubbed away down to cow corner. It's an agricultural hack. And there is protection for that shot. The intelligence of Klassen here, understanding that for tail enders it's going to be very difficult to try and maneuver balls on the offside. So he's got most of his boundary riders down on the leg side. And this time around, Chatara tries to do that. Only succeed in getting one good fielding from the captain, stopping a definite 4. The idea definitely is there in Chatara's mind to try and breach that offside. As we get through that cover line, there is very high reward. Beautifully bowled.
You won't find a better Yorker than that. Right up in the block hole. Just a bit of angle in from over the wicket. Did well to keep that out, Masuku. So just a couple of balls to go. Struck away by Chatara. Bit of a groan of disappointment because he's hit that straight to the mound on the boundary on the leg side. Definitely felt there was an opportunity to try and pierce the gap, get a boundary. Acres of space between the fine leg and that man's square on the leg side.
clean bowled, deceived by the flight and the slower ball. Enes Masuku, we have to walk back here. And that's the end of the Zimbabwean innings. 135 for 9 in the allocation of 20. A very good bowling from the South Africans to restrict Zimbabwe to just 135 in the 20 overs.
Zimbabwe lost early wickets once again, struggled. At the top of the order, it was Milton Shumba and Ryan Burl, 41 and 40 balls and 31 balls respectively. That got Zimbabwe to half-decent total. Bowlers did a fantastic job as well. Made sure that Zimbabwe were restricted. Gerald Kutsia, 4 for 19 with a maiden in his allotted 4 overs. So don't go away. Join us in about 15 minutes' time for South Africa A's run chase.
Good afternoon and welcome back for the second part of this fourth T20. South African batters on the way out are Nasiba Ngwepe and Vian Luba. And another really interesting development is that throughout these series of matches, Richmond Tumbami has been keeper. And today it looks like Regis Chakaba has the gloves on.
Yes, the national team keeper. Very capable. But only faced one delivery today. Was bowled by Bjorn Fortuin with his first delivery, of course, his second delivery of the match. Wesley Madhevere opening with Regis Chakava. And looks like the same. Wesley Madhevere is going to open the bowling for Zimbabwe 11, who earlier on made 135 for 9. Based on the capable batting of the youngsters in the team, that is Ryan Burl as well as Milton Shumba, showed a lot, the kind of maturity that was needed from the the failing top order, if you're going to call it that, in this T20 tournament or T20 series so far. Remember, South Africa are leading the series 3-0, and they're looking to make it 4-0. And
Needless shot from Wesley Madhevere. And Foster Mtizwa umpire is not interested, not moved. There's a real interest from Regis Chakaba behind the stumps as well.
you can see the umpire sort of indicating that it was missing leg stump.
And that's the reverse sweep immediately from Nasiba Ngwepe. And he's got it all the way to the boundary. Really lovely shot. Something we've seen throughout his visit to Zimbabwe. Very quick to play that, and he plays it off the line of the stumps usually. So the South Africans get their boundary off the second delivery of their run chase.
The impressive Nasiba Ngwepe, of course, has made a century in this particular series. The only batter to make a century.
And he's bowled him around his legs. As Ngwepe is looking to get that behind sweep too far across. And Zimbabwe get a breakthrough. And it's Wesley Madhevere. South Africa are 4 for 1. New batsman is Ryan Rickleton. kept quite well today. Picked up a few catches. Really, really good behind the stumps. He's had one innings of note. He opened in an innings with Zimbabwe. Today he's come one down, batting at 3.
Zimbabwe made 47 yesterday. Rebuilding the innings after Zimbabwe took 2 early wickets. Zimbabwe 11. Sweep shot, the right shot to play for the wicket that fell for Zimbabwe.
I think he's just trying to assert dominance, and it's just clear that there was 2 men inside the circle behind square on the leg side, and it's just trying to find gaps in that area to find some boundaries. As we saw him play a reverse sweep, the first shot, second delivery he faced, and then it brought about the change in the field, and there was closing up that reverse, the area the reverse sweep would go into. So the only option I think he thought he had left was behind square on the leg side. So anyway, at the end of the first over, South Africa are 5 for 1. Taking the new ball for the Zimbabwean 11 from the city end is Tendai Chatara, who's been good throughout this series. And again, we hear him. He starts beautifully immediately. Probably a little inside edge. Saved Ryan Rickleton.
So if you're Shumba and Raza, do you give Wesley Madhevere another go, or do you happy with the breakthrough so far and hand over to the quicks?
I think the pattern throughout this series has been that a spinner bowls the first over of the match. South Africans do that, and we've seen the Zimbabweans do that throughout this match. So we saw this more earlier today. We saw, I think it was Buyon Fortuin take a wicket with his first delivery in this match, or second delivery. First delivery to get rid of Regis Chakabva, and then immediately he only bowled the 1 over, and it was replaced at his end by, I think, Utandu Pavilon. I think the Zimbabweans are probably going to follow the same sort of pattern.
That said, if you're defending such a low total of 136, being the target, your focus will be on taking wickets. If you feel in your gut that Wesley Madhevere is going to take wickets, would you go with that, or just go with the formula?
I think I suspect they'll go with the formula. My own feeling is I'd want to go with that, but that's a beautiful shot from Ryan Rickleton, and it's just a little bit of width from Tendai Chatara. Just the quality of cricket shot that he's played, absolutely sublime.
Absolutely peach quality. Picked the length up very early. Is able to eve that and reduces the target South Africa are going after.
So immediately that shot has brought Tendai Chatara around the wicket to Rickleton, just trying to remove that angle across the left-hander. It'll allow him to play shots behind square. Force him to look for his boundaries, other parts of the ground. And, straight away. We see that Tendai Chatara likes that. And that's the wicket. Tendai Chatara finally worked for him coming. And Ryan Rickleton hits it straight to Wesley Madhevere. And the South Africans are now 2 down from just 9 runs. At the end of the second over, South Africa are 9 for 2.
Wesley Madhevere continues, so I guess Shumba and Raza's gone with his gut. So give me another wicket here. Then we could be in among the races against the South Africa A side who've taken the series.
Oh, beautiful shot from Vian Luba. And it's just a little bit of width and a little bit of shortness in length. He's played a really commanding back foot drive.
Certainly one of the players that's caught the eye in terms of his technique. Not necessarily made the runs that his talent demands, but you can see as a cricket player in there.
I think that something really special about him is the way he plays. It just suggests a lot of ability. And for me, it's just the appearance of just an extra second or so, or split second to play the delivery compared to most batters. Even the very talented batters in his own side.
Of course, if you are in the Harare Sports Club era, come through. Looks like a good game of cricket. And so far looking a bit competitive. South Africa obviously with the batters they have back in the dugout, favourites to win. And of course, after this match, on Tuesday, there is another match between the two sides to finish off.
It's gone through everything, missed everything. really beautiful delivery from Wesley Madhevere. Jan Luba is looking to get that away off through the offside. And it's just bounced a little bit. Got past Reggie Chakava. So it was quite a decent over. It's gone for 10. It's a really good single to finish off the third over of the game. South Africa moved to 20 for 2. Still to Tara from the city end. The second wicket to fall just came around the wicket to Ryan Rickleton. After Ryan Rickleton had played an absolute screamer of a shot before that, and then he just changed the angle on him. Immediately got the breakthrough.
Nice save there from captain for the national team. I was about to call him captain. Used to seeing him chirping about as leading the national side in T20s and ODIs.
Interesting you should say that, because just before this game, this actual inning started, I saw three of them. It was Craig Irvin, Regis Chakabva, and today's captain, having a long conversation just before, as the rest of the sides were warming up. So you get the impression that the three of them, probably the most experienced players on the ground, are also sharing ideas.
Call the leadership quorum, so to speak. Leading
would make a lot of sense. And I think the other really experienced player for the Zimbabweans on the ground today is Tendai Chatara.
Well, incidentally, his middle name is Larry. Not that I have anywhere close to the skills he has when it comes to bowling. Probably better at bowling station than in real life. And even then, I'm not pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I pulled so many wides that if I'm using him, he'll probably get me sued.
Nice little single just to keep the scoreboard ticking over. This is a good over from Tendai Chatara. 3 dots and just 1 single.
It was Kaya Zondo who impressed in the 50 over part of this tour by South Africa, and take this opportunity to be thankful to both the Zimbabwe Cricket and Cricket South Africa boards for arranging this multi-format series. It's certainly allowed both sides to get some action, especially since because of the IPL, a lot of teams are not getting action.
This particular moment, yes, and we've just seen, Larry, fielding change. That's Craig Irvin to the right of Regis Chakava in the slips. And that suggests that that's a very good idea, as we see Kaya Zondo playing miss outside off stump. I think this is actually a really good ploy. What it does is that if anything goes up goes into at a catchable height. The probabilities suggest it's going to go through there. I think this is a really good fielding change. That is not a good delivery from Tendai Chatara. You see him holding his hand, holding his head, perhaps in shame. Gone for just one run in that over. And then bowled it wide with the last delivery.
Well, that certainly does. Sort of free up the batter. Doesn't get punished for that after that extra. And at the end of the fourth over, South Africa A are 20 for 2.
Batting change from the golf course end, replacing Wesley Madhevere after his 2. It's Tanaka Chiwanga. He's gotten better every time I've seen him bowl through this series. It's immediately past the outside edge.
He looks like one of those bowlers who turns up against quality opposition, because I think with some of the stuff that you get in domestic cricket, fair play. I mean, no disrespect to some of the stuff that we've seen, but you don't necessarily have to put your A game all the time. And in this instance, with the margin for error smaller, and we saw that also with respect to Ernest Masuku, you can see that they really are up for it.
And that is an absolute jaffa. A beautiful delivery from Tanaka Chiwanga. That is as good as you're going to see. And Vian Luba is dismissed for 7. And suddenly Zimbabwe have the cats amongst the pigeon. And South Africa are 22 for 3. Look at that. Captain's innings is what's going to be required from Heinrich Klassen. 22 for 3. And Tanaka Chiwanga has bowled an absolute beauty of a delivery for good length. It's just leapt at Vian Luba. brought Heinrich Klaassen into to bat. And immediately we see Craig Irvin has been moved into the first slip. As if, obviously, if Shavanga can repeat something like that, see a few catches into that area.
Made fifth match at Heinrich Klaassen, his first significant score of this particular series, having made 6 and 3 in the matches preceding that. So, other than the 56, you want to come to the races. Of course, the series has been won, but South Africa will want to keep the pedal on the metal.
Some really good clean hitting from Heinrich Klaassen in that 50. I think it came off just 33 deliveries to get to 50. And he started relatively slowly. What he then did is once he'd batted for about 12 or 13 deliveries, he started to find his 6. Just every over that he faced after that. And they were really high quality cricket shots.
Also, what it seems as if in this particular innings, he's going to have to do what he did with Reza Hendricks in the match yesterday. That is on Saturday, in which he's going to go through a period of rebuilding the innings. It's not a big total, so run rate is not yet an issue.
Then, from the Zimbabwean perspective, we just really need to send one of or both of these two back. Going to do it bowling there, but definitely need another wicket here, and the South Africans could be in some real trouble. We know that Zondo generally likes to take his time before he starts playing shots. This kind of situation is tailor-made for him, so he can play naturally and then explode towards the end of the match. Run rate is just 7.4. 112 of 1 deliveries. Should be a doddle for the South Africans. As long as the Zimbabweans keep finding a way to take wickets, they remain in this match. So anyway, at the end of the 5th, South Africa are 24 for 3. See relatively attacking fields maintained by the Zimbabweans. You see that Tendai Chatara is going to continue from the city end.
So, what do you think of the play? Because Tendai Chatara is one of those that often captains have captained him have always let him bowl 2 overs. You bring him back again around the 10th over and 1 towards the death. But I'm guessing the idea is at all-out attack and take wickets at the moment.
Well, that's in the air for a little bit. And there was some incitement, and Kaya Zondo is quick across the turf. Comes back easily for the second. He played that cut shot, made no attempt to get over it. Really looking to get that over the head of Wesley Madhevere, who's at backward point. But, Tendai Chatara just managed to cramp him. That's gone over sort of like maybe the fifth slip, sort of fourth slip area, down to third man. Larry made a really good call earlier in the game about Wesley getting a second over. Just got to ask him, do you think that it might be an idea to bowl another one for Tendai Chatara here? Or are we going to see a bowling change from the city end?
I think you just really have to have a look at Elliot Masugu. You got to have a look at Elliot Masugu because he's really been able to play. Ernest Masugu, I beg your pardon, has been really shown to be up for it, and he will take wickets. I think while the ball is still
got some newness.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
so I'd say have a look at that because that's armory that has taken wickets before in some of these matches.
That's a nice little slow change up from Chatara, making it really difficult for the South Africans up front. Really intelligent changes in pace is Tendai Chatara. Zondo has just one delivery, one run from the deliveries he's faced. Good bit of fielding from Wesley Madhevere. Really fine stop. That means it's just the 2 runs from the Chatara over, and South Africa A are 26 for 3. Tanaka Chiwanga is on 1 for 2. It's the first over he's bowled. He's going to continue from the golf course end. Starts off just a little too straight. Klaasen is able to just tuck him off his hips down towards Tendai Chatara, tidies up.
I think the Zimbabweans have got to be careful though. Sometimes you get lulled into a false sense of security when you're just conceding ones here and there, and you think it's just 1 and 2 per over. The run rate isn't an issue at the moment, so I'm not sure you're going to create scoreboard pressure at the moment. The sort of runs that should be able to get. So you've got to keep regularly taking wickets.
Personally, I just want to see Bala getting those channels right, just outside off stump. Just pull shot from Kaya Zondo. It's just going to be 1.
Again, just gives me an opportunity to tell you about the Zimbabwe Cricket app. It should be called Mr. Zimbabwe Cricket app. It's available on the iStore for iOS users, as well as the Google Play Store for those who use Android. And it's available for free. You can access all the action happening in Zimbabwean cricket. Got a full festival of cricket throughout winter. Feast of cricket. You can see, you can get updates as this match is happening as well. You can project scores and things of that nature. See who's had the highest scores, who's on the leaderboard, who's currently leading on the MVP in terms of player of the series. All sorts of content. And of course, there's the National Premier League that is also taking place at the moment across the country. Zimbabwe's top club competition, and those matches are currently being covered on that app.
That's another good one from Chiwanga. Hit Heinrich Larsson quite firmly. He's just gone, take a breath.
Just walks, takes a bit of a walk, as they call it. My mom used to say, walk it off. And it's Mother's Day. Did you finally send the message?
Yes, I did. And I actually sent a picture of you. Larry said, by the way, this is Larry. I'm doing commentary with him. And he reminded me that today is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day. And this Zimbabwe cricket app is actually really quite good. It has a lot of stuff and analytical stuff.
So Heinrich Larsson is going to get some attention, and as soon as we resume here, I'm just going to leave you with pictures of him getting attention. But as it stands, South Africa are 28 for 3 after 6.4 overs. Their target is 136.
Two balls to go in Tanaka Chiwanga's second over. He's looked really good. He's just got to finish off the good work.
Not quite the delivery he wanted to send down there, and umpire Forstam T calls that quite rightly a wide.
Just checking on the Zimbabwe cricket app, just realized that the third wicket, the Zimbabwean wicket, third one, fell at 28 for 3. So there's not much to separate the two sides as it is right now. Fourth South African wicket fell at 38. Fourth Zimbabwean wicket, sorry, fell at 38. So just absolutely important that Tanaka Chiwanga bowls well right here. And that's just a little too straight to finish the 6th over. Sorry, that's the 7th over. And South Africa are 30 for 3. Again, Larry Kulirai shows a more nuanced understanding of bowling changes than known. Whereas earlier he was saying, We'll have a look at Ernest Masuku from the city end. And Shumba and Raza has complied. Bowling change from city end. Ernest Masuku, really good in the third T20. Took 3 wickets. Bowled well. And a beautiful shot from Heinrich Klaassen. A wonderful back foot drive, wide of mid-off. He's greeted Masuku with a tremendous cricket shot.
Not to be too critical of Elliot, I keep calling him Ernest Masuku. That's just a gimme right there. A bowled in a channel in which a capable batter should be able to get runs off that. Of course, you still have to make those runs, and place them absolutely perfectly as Heinrich Klaassen has. But that's one of those, almost like a loosener.
It's just a sign of a little lack of awareness. Because generally you should expect that I'm about to be bowling right now. And you should get yourself ready before the ball is given to you. I think these are the sort of things that are just a sign of an experience. And they're going to get better the longer we see him play.
South Africa kind of feel they just need to see out the next 2 overs or so. I think the batting will become a lot easier. So around the time that Shumba and Raza comes in, as much as he is a wily old customer, he will give you 1 or 2 you can hit over.
Very right. And a run rate has not become too drastic. Run rate required is just 8.16. 7th hand. That should be relatively easy. And that is a tremendous cricket shot from Heinrich Klaassen. He's just not going to let Masuku sit. He's hit it a long way over deep mid-wicket.
And looking at that, it's just down to the fact that I don't think Ernest Masuku has had a plan for Heinrich Klaassen. I think is bowled inconsistently.
It's just that one is just a little too straight. So Heinrich Klaassen knows that delivery is too straight, can't get him out. He knows where the fielders are. And there's a big hole over a deep mid-wicket. And he can really swing through that. And it's gonna, and it's a really, really safe shot.
And that's just something he's going to have to work on. A lot more consistency in terms of when he bowls, to find the channel. Once you saw it in Tendai Chatara, and that's how he was able to snare the wicket. Same thing with Tanaka Chivanga, just bowl to a particular plan. And in this instance, I just don't see what Ernest Masuku's plan is. Experience of Heinrich Klaassen, they could have been tempted to try and go over the top again. Knows he has a lot of wickets and a lot of balls to play with.
And the other thing is, it's almost as if sort of 2 or 3 balls in this over, Suku's given something that he can hit safely. So it's just a question of just wait, put that away very, very well, and then you just keep waiting again. A little too straight from Masuku. And good bit of fielding from Ryan Burler, short, fine leg. South Africa rag 40 for 3. Very interesting bowling change. Milton Shumba has been brought into the attack from the city end, the golf course end. We know that he's come in to replace an injured Masakadza. He doesn't get to bowl much. This is a very, very interesting bowling change.
Over the concept of the left arm spinner, notice when Bjorn Fontaine is bowled, he's given something for the Zimbabweans to think about. Milton Shumba not quite of the same pedigree with the ball as Wellington Masakadza, but that's mostly because he doesn't bowl much, or as much as he would like to, especially if you look at the domestic scene. He's in a squad that has got Ainsley Ndlovu in it. So Ainsley Ndlovu, who is a spinner, takes a bulk of the bowling, at least in the spinning department, and even it's in the same domestic side as Sean Williams. So again, when Sean Williams is playing domestic, doesn't get a bowl, and even when you see him playing international matches, never really called upon to bowl. So this is an interesting move. Maybe one of those you look at as a partnership breaker, or this is the captain saying, "You don't get a bowl much, son. Show us you're an option."
I think that what it is, at least at the very minimum, it's counterintuitive for me. And if this one works out, Shumba and Raza is going to look like a genius. As it is, he's not bowled too badly. Just the 2 singles from the 3 balls he's bowled.
I guess it's one of those that's like playing a cheeky shot. You look great if it goes for a 6. Look like an idiot if it goes and you're out.
Here's the thing I can see. We see a very clear plan from him. He's going to be looking to slide the majority of the deliveries into both these right-handers from outside the line of the stumps. Just really try and cut down the areas into which they can actually play those shots.
And that is just a clever ball there from Milton Shumba. Saw Kaya Zondo coming down and decided to bowl just a little bit wide into his legs. Couldn't get under that ball. A lot fuller. Shows he's a thinking man as he bowls.
That looks like it's the wicket taking Mr. Wesley Madhevere, and he's got the breakthrough as Milton Shumba. And Shumba and Raza suddenly looking like a genius. And South Africa in some trouble at 43 for 4.
Excitement for the Zimbabwe fans that are constantly streamed in to catch the action here at Harare Sports Club. There's still a bit of time if you're close by to rush over here and catch what is turning out to be an interesting game of cricket. Zimbabwe taking wickets. South Africa remain the favourites, especially since Kaya Zondo is still there. His eyes end. I suppose if they take his wicket now, then the cat is among the proverbial pigeons.
For me, and the other thing is that should be worrisome for Zimbabweans is the form that Bjorn Fortuin has been in. He's probably going to be the next man in, number 7. So essentially, to really have a chance at this match, the Zimbabweans need 2 wickets. One of these, one of the 3 that I've mentioned, Jason Smith or Kaya Zondo or Bjorn Fortuin. You need 2 of those. Bjorn Fortuin has been in some really, really good form throughout this series with the bat as well as with the ball. He's been fielding particularly well.
Jason Smith is not really, he hasn't scored any runs of significance in this tour at all. First, he looked very interesting when he made 12th and under. Oh, that just goes wide. But he made 12th in the first and only list a match in the one-day format, and did not score. Was not required the first 2 matches in the T20s, and then made only 5 in the third. So for the talent that we saw, looking at the runs that he made in one of the one days, you can see that there's a player there who just needs to execute and give something for the South African selectors to think about, not quite necessarily in the immediate future, but certainly look forward to going down the line.
It's a leg spinner from Shumba and Raza. Occasionally he throws one in. And it's just not turned. See, Jay's playing expecting the turn. Just got an inside edge. And at the end of the 10th over, the South African A is 49 for 4.
Malta back into the attack. At the same point, Zimbabwe 11 were 50 for 5. So again, not much difference. And again, Malta not giving Kaya Zondo space to really free up his arms.
Still not seen Milton Shumba turns away from the right-handers. He's been mostly angled in to the base of off stump. When he's full, a little shorter, he's angled into around about leg stump. So the South Africans are now 50 for 4 in the 10th overs. In the 11th over, they get over 50. As my partner rightly pointed out, they're just behind in terms of runs scored at this stage. But Zimbabwe had lost one more wicket.
Just impressed by how clever Milton Shumba has been here. Just without trying too many tricks. And he bowls are wide, but without trying too many tricks, what he's done is gotten the South Africa A batters to think once or twice before committing to a shot. Because it's easy to just sort of think, I haven't seen him, looks like a part-time spinner, could have a go here.
He really looks to me as if he's done quite a lot of work on this aspect of his cricket. It's really, really good to watch. He's got really clear plans. He's bowling really well, really beautifully. Nice pace. Combinations of a little bit quicker, a little flatter. Sometimes a little bit of loop. Predominantly angling in towards the right-hander's pads. Should be just the one from that. No, very good running from the South Africans. It's 2 off the last delivery, 4 from that second Milton Shumba over. And South Africa A are 53 for 4.
Shumba and Raza continues in the on his second over. He conceded 6 in his first over. And South Africa A using this period to sort of rebuild. Not many runs that they need to chase. Raza just straying bit and allowing Kaya Zondo, or rather beg your pardon, Jason Smith, to just tickle that. Scandalize it. Perhaps getting his run a little bit wrong, getting it wrong. Even at this international level, something that often happens to players. And once again, not sure if it's a case of his concentration or trying to get the mind of Kaya Zondo. Kaya Zondo, a wily old customer, young customer. And just misses the edge. Kazondo looking to cut that. Probably trying to get the ball between gully and square. And he decides to go the onside. And Ryan Bell collects a deep square leg. One ball to go in this over. Shumba Raza's conceded 3. The kind of performance you expect from the captain. And 3 remains, and so South Africa A are 56 for 4 after 12 overs.
Well, Milton Shumba is going to continue from the golf course end. He's bowled really well so far. Been really difficult to get underneath. We see a really interesting fielding change. Not really a fielding change, just a little bit of a subtle change in the fielding position. Moves, looks like Tano a little bit finer, a deep square leg. Literally, all that Shumba has made available is a single into the mid-wicket area. And Wesley Madhevere, who the deep mid-wicket boundary, has been very good. He's very quick over the ground. Gets to that and gets it in quickly. Make sure he keeps that down to just 1 run. And that's a beautiful shot from Jason Smith. Or is it? Has he got enough of it? And it's a wicket for Milton Shumba. He's got his second one. Jason Smith has given himself a little bit of room and go over straight. And he's hit it straight to Ryan Burl. He's taking a good catch. And Zimbabwe are doing really, really well here. As now are 57 for 5.
Some inspired bowling by Milton Shumba, who's going at 3.43 after 2.2 overs, taking big wickets at the moment. And the last wicket being Jason Smith for 5. Bjorn Fortuin comes in, a player who has had a pretty good tour.
Made a lot of important runs at the back end of the innings for the South African A side. Scores quickly. And is good enough as a batter to get South Africa over the line here. And Milton Shumba starts him off with a pie. Really
Doesn't bobble it up.
characteristic delivery given what's preceded it. It's really, really good stuff from Milton Shumba. Just not given anything that the South Africans have been able to hit with any degree of safety.
So again, Bjorn Fortuin hasn't had to bowl twice in this particular series, because Zimbabwe obviously not getting as many so many runs so that he has to bat, but made an 8 and a 6 in the list A match, made 19 in the last match. So absolutely due some runs. You can see that he's got something in him. Can hit a ball, so he's been able to send the balls over. Particularly impressive with the ball, but not quite so with the bat. And I think, again, just like Jason Smith and Vian Luba in this tour, the two batters who say will be very disappointed by the time.
Just 4 runs so far, and more importantly, at wicket, Jason's. At the end of the 13th over, South Africa A are 61 for 5.
So, taking over the commentary are Tinashe Zimbabwe and, of course, Tino Mawe.
Thank you very much, Larry. A different look to that South African score than what we have been accustomed to throughout this T20 series. 13.1 overs and 62 runs, loss of 5 wickets, and that's a brilliant shot. One bounce into the side screens. What a shot from Bjorn Fontaine, who has had a very good series with the ball, and now he's showing us exactly what he can do with the bat.
Such a good shot. And I'll tell you why, because he hasn't tried to hit it too hard. The men who are at long on and long off are quite wide. All he needed to do was hit it well enough over the bowler's head, and he had a good chance of a boundary, and he did exactly that.
Absolutely, Tino. And that's been something that the Zimbabwean batters will have to take from their South African counterparts, the way that they've gone about looking for boundaries in this series, in the one-dayers and the T20s. They've managed to just do enough when they are looking for boundaries and not try and hit the leather off the balls, as we have often seen. A very interesting game here, very evenly poised at this moment. Probably Zimbabwe will fancy their chances from this position, Tino. Still another 9 runs needed from 39 deliveries. Only just 5 wickets in hand, and probably just 1 or 2 out and out batters still in the heart for South Africa.
Well, they have to believe that they can win from this position. They've done extremely well to get themselves to a position where South Africa still require 60-odd runs, 5 wickets in hand. In the air, that's an opportunity. Shivanga doesn't make a mistake. And the captain, Shumba and Raza, comes on, takes an important wicket. And at the end of the 14th, South Africa A now 68 for 6.
Milton Shumba has had a dream performance today. Very important runs, 41 of 39 deliveries today. And he's just gone for 12 runs and 2 wickets. And that has been greeted with a brilliant shot and has been taken. Ryan Bell takes a simple catch, and Kaya Zondo will have to walk back. Ryan Bell takes his second catch of the and Milton Shumba takes his third wicket of the innings. You know what a match he is having here, Milton Shumba and Ryan Bell. That combination got Zimbabwe to a respectable score. South Africa, after 14.1 overs, 68 for 6. Clinton Stelman was with the ball today. Now we have to match that brilliance with the bat to get over the line. Here, South Africa needing 68 runs of 35 deliveries, just 3 wickets in hand. And the run rate at the moment is 4.8 runs, and South Africa will require to strike at, or rather, go at an economy rate of 12 runs and over from here on. Milton Shumba will have lots to say about that. Tino has bowled very well and has backed up his performances with the bat with a little cameo with the ball here. Milton Shumba, who's not usually a frontline spinner when Wellington Masakata is in the side.
Undoubtedly, Zimbabwe is the impact player of the match. Out of the side last game due to injury, and he's just proved how important he is to this 11. What he can do with the bat, we haven't quite seen what he can do with the ball at this level. Milton Shumba, who when he was under 19 was an integral part of the bowling lineup, with his slow left arm, graduating into senior cricket, not quite getting the same responsibility with the ball.
I like what he's done with his bowling because he understands his limitation with side spin, and he's just tried to use the variation of the crease, and the way that he uses the crease sometimes is very close to the stumps and sometimes it's very wide, and uses sort of round arm which just dusts the ball down to the leg stump. It makes it very difficult for the batters to access the offside and make big shots possible.
I think more so than that, what I like about the way he's going about his bowling at this current moment is he realizes that real big hitters of the ball in the South African lineup are back in the hut. All you need to do now is build dots. And that pressure will force them to play bigger strokes, and that's where you'll get your opportunities. That looks good. That looks very good, and it's out. Milton Shumba makes his 4-wicket haul 5 and plunges South Africa A into deeper, murkier waters. 71 for 7.
That wicket brings the end of the over. Number 15 into the attack. Shumba and Raza continues from the city end. Junior Dala not in the side for his batting exploits, but we have to hold the bet here for South Africa because they still need 65 runs of just 30 deliveries, or 29 now. And the run rate creeping up with every single and every dot. Stearman, we have to find some boundaries here.
Every dot ball just make run rate go further up. And I hope that Shumba Raza realizes and does the exact same thing that Milton Shumba's done. Just keep getting the dot balls in there. And that's it. Junior Dala struggling to get the ball away here. Quicker one, that last one from Shumba Raza.
Yeah, he does that a lot. He just varies his pace and the way he hides his ball there. It makes it very easy for him to change the grip, and the batters can only realize it very late. Halfway through this over, actually just 2 balls remain, only 2 runs. LBW shout, and the slow finger comes up. Another wicket falls for South Africa, and it's Glenton Stearman for 3 runs of just 5 deliveries. Shumba and Raza breaks again. Constant wickets for Zimbabwe. South Africa 73 for 9. To Pavilion, new better in. Ball out, and Zimbabwe breaks the duck. And Tino Mawoyo, you're going to open a church for us, are you? Become Mr. Prophet here. You spoke about to Pavilion's batting skills, and he's been cleaned up. First ball here by Shumba and Raza, who will be on the hat-trick in the next ball that he bowls in the next match. Zimbabwe, after suffering a serious defeat, have found a way to bounce back here and bowling South Africa out for 73, Tino.
Well, you have to take your hats off to the Zimbabwe 11 outfit. Started off poorly with the bat, as we've seen throughout the series. But my oh my, what a bowling performance from this team. 60 runs is what Zimbabwe win by. But they had to do a lot of work with the ball to get through the South Africa A lineup. Only man who looked half decent, Kaya Zondo, 28. Balls for his 18, but other than that, not much resistance from the South Africa A batting lineup.
Wesley Madhevere opened up the bowling, took a wicket of the informal Lesiba Ngoepe. And Tendai Chatara continues. 3 overs, just 8 runs. And Chivanga continues well in that form. But the player probably of the match, Milton Shumba, the contribution of 41 of just 40 deliveries. Was able to come back and pick up 4 wickets. And South Africa will have to find a way to bounce back in the next match, which is going to be on Tuesday. And today, Zimbabwe winners in a fashion that we haven't seen in this particular series, very dominant with the ball. Very well done to Zimbabwe. They will want to come back and repeat this fitting on Tuesday. And we're hoping that the fans, you guys who have been watching, would repeat this fitting and come back and be with us on Tuesday. So we're going to end today's match by just congratulating Zimbabwe and thanking the fans all over the world who have been with us. And South Africa A go down to Zimbabwe by 63 runs. Zimbabwe getting their first victory in the T20 series. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you on Tuesday. Goodbye.